Charles.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Good, good. Nice
Good
to
seeing
see
you.
you. Yeah. Find us all right?
Yeah.
Nice.
What's funny is I've actually been here.
You have, yeah.
Yeah, I did a video where my buddy picked up a night bug. So I thought it was his shop at the time.
Yeah.
And then I did the video, and then G told me,
Yeah.
oh, that's Promer shop.
Oh,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh,
So,
shit.
yeah. So, Clearwater Glassing's the main glass shop.
Right on.
So, this board's waiting to get glass. Kind of light right now.
Yeah.
My shaping room in here.
Okay.
So, and this is where we'll shape your board out and everything once we cut it. Sanding room in here. We got Larry doing some fin box install right now. So,
How's it going, Larry?
this is where we sand them all after they're all glass. We do some routing and boxing in here. You can start making a bunch of noise. So CNC in here. This is where all the fun happens. And this is actually your board right here. I cut it down to size.
Okay.
Got the initial prep done. We have to kind of line it up for, you know, the index points on the machine. So
Right on.
put the compressor on. This is the glassing room right here. So we're getting ready to do a color batch of boards today. Just a quick, you know, quick little view. Your board's all designed already. So that's the printout with all your dims and everything else. So that's basically a little breakdown. Give you a little 3D view of it here. Just something kind of cool that we can do. Throw some lines on here, make it easier to see. These are basically our index towers. Have you ever seen a board cut?
No, never. I mean, I've seen it like online and stuff.
Okay, so it's pretty, I've seen it a million times and it's still, I love watching it, it's amazing. So, we got that. So basically we set this bad boy on here. Get her roughly lined up.
A few moments later.
So my first steps is the machine always cuts it, I always have it cut a touch long. So your board's 5'4", but we end up in the end at 5'4 3/4. You see kind of the extra in the tail right here. You can kind of see where your tail really ends. I'm gonna take a half off your tail. Yeah, it's pretty spot on there. Make sure the tail's even there. It's a retro board, but it's a blend of a lot, you know, it's more modern. So this thing is way more fold and tail, shallower swallow. So set up.
Four boards.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I never had a room, so that was really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Board and flip it, shake the other side.
So try not to take more than 1/8 because you keep the stronger foam.
Yeah.
So the deeper you get into the foam, the weaker it gets. So now you can buy these things maybe.
Yeah.
I love making boards, so I kind of, you know, switched my focus into making boards. I'll put this out in the hall there. Put her in there today. How long are you out of the water for?
Let's see, I've been out this first weekend. Next weekend I'm out.
Okay, so you got a couple weeks.
Yeah,
still?
2 more weekends.
Okay, then maybe I won't change my batch.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
How's it
Hey, what's
going,
up, buddy? How are you,
How
man?
you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
Nice seeing you. How's it going, guys?
How's it going?
Good.
I'm all ready for you.
Gavin Tom, nice to meet you.
you.
All right, man, I'll let you go, dude.
All right, well, thank you.
2 weeks later.
What's on?
Nice to see you.
Good seeing you.
So,
Cool.
let's pull her on out here for you.
Yeah.
Check that bad boy out.
Dude, that looks so sick.
Sick, huh?
Yeah. Was that like your idea or was that your guys?
Yeah. No, this is something I wanted to do for this board.
Damn.
I'm excited to see what I'm hoping you love the thing.
All right, man.
Cool. All right.
Thank you. All right.
No problem. Have fun with that bad boy.
Thanks, man. Hello and welcome to Tommy Surfs. Now, this front portion of the video kind of covered the process of my board being made. And I gotta say, one thing about the whole process is that it was pretty cool to watch and to experience. Now, my recollection of customs from 20 years ago, and I've had 20 or so custom boards myself, but in the past it was always go talk to the shaper, put it on paper, and then 4 to 6 weeks later, you ended up with a board that was exactly what you asked for or not exactly what you asked for. Because there's so much loss in interpretation, especially if the shaper doesn't know you. Having said that, in this experience, the great thing is I got to see everything get done. So now, if for whatever reason I didn't like the outline or I thought it was too big in the design process, I could have changed that. As well as if ultimately when it got done or close to done, if I needed a little bit more off the rail or if I wanted a very specific type of rail, Promer could actually step in and make customizations. So I would recommend that at least once in your lifetime, you should get a custom board and literally go through this concierge service of having the design, the cutout, the shaping, and be a part of that entire process. It was really, really cool. And in the end, you end up with exactly what you asked for. So to answer the question, is a custom board worth it? I'm going to answer definitively yes. Now, people try to always pin me, what's better, okay? I think there's advantages to both. And I'm somewhat reformed in that I went into this and I 100% believe that rack was always better, okay? And the reason I believe that was there are so many board options out there, right? So many good shapers between Lost, Sharp Eye, Channel Islands, Firewire, Surf Tech, IPA, all these guys, okay? You walk into a shop, you walk into 3 shops, you're gonna have the opportunity to put hundreds of boards under your arm to figure out which one you like, okay? So the one that comes closest, you're gonna walk out of that store knowing exactly what you bought. Now, on the contrary, prior to this experience, custom to me was somewhat of a crapshoot. And one example, and I'll just use the easiest one I could think of, is recently my friend bought one and he had a paint job in mind. He wanted it red, fade to something. There are a lot of variations of red. So when he got it, he hated it. So my point is, there's advantages to both, and custom, you can get exactly what you want, provided the shaper knows you, your communication is good, and you guys are on the same page about everything. So for me, one of the things I told Promer is shape it however you want. I had no expectations. And I told him design it whatever you want. And when you saw the resin tint, I was so impressed with that. And there's no way my imagination could have thought of that. So I was very happy that I put that in his hands, and he just delivered a board that just looked amazing. Now, moving on to how it's surfed, the best way I could describe it is this. It has the nose of a 5.354 Seaside and the tail of a 5.4 Masha. So basically, if you put those two boards, this would be not exactly in the middle. It leans actually more towards the Seaside because there's a little bit of thickness. So it's, I would say, more of a groveler. with performance tendencies or features. So definitely works awesome for both conditions, small, and you saw how small it was in the beginning of the video, and caught waves easily, but was also very maneuverable. But the best part is as the waves get better, this board keeps up with the performance. Now, one thing that I had to adjust to was, as a front-footed surfer, the drastic difference between the tail and the nose, I guess the forward section of this board, the width, I had to make sure that I was really paying attention to where my weight was, because when I needed to have that thing maneuver and perform and not have the nose bog, I had to really step on the tail more. And then as I'm driving, I wanted to be forward more. Now, I normally do this anyways, but I had to think about it more and accentuate both, exaggerate both. So now here, as the waves get better, this is where you'll see that it, keeps up with the performance. I didn't really get to surf it in big waves. I probably would say that, the ceiling on this for decent performance is head high. Maybe if you're a better surfer than I am, then it's probably higher than that. But overall, this board maneuvers and is easy to maneuver as the seaside, but also can perform not up to, but close to the mashup when it comes to certain types of waves. So I really enjoyed this board. I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of the seaside and the mashup. But again, the most important part of this experience was the fact that I got to sit there and watch the entire process. Now, in this particular case, I didn't change anything because I trusted, Promer. I gave him all the detail. He knows my weight. He also has seen me surf, so I let him decide, how to build this thing. But if at any point I didn't like any feature, I could have said, oh, could you make it thicker, or could you make it thinner, or maybe shorter, right? He could have done that before the CNC cut into it. So overall, the question is, custom better or is rack better? Well, I don't think there is a direct comparison. What I believe is that they both have advantages and they both have disadvantages. On the custom side, since we're focusing on customs here, I would say the disadvantage is if the shaper doesn't know you and you're not part of the process, you might not always get what you're looking for, in terms of color, the size, etc. Now, on the contrary, the advantage would be that if the shaper knows you and you can babysit the entire process, you can get exactly what you want. Unlike rack boards that sometimes, you might be in between sizes, on a custom built like this, you can get right down to the millimeter of what you want. One great thing is there's a lot of local shapers. Promer, who's pretty local to Huntington Beach. He's right off the 405 freeway. There is a friend of mine that runs Shamrock Shapes, as well as lately I've been looking at boards from Preciado. So all three of those guys are local shapers, and there's many more, but I just wanted to mention them since I personally talked to them before and have met them. So if you buy direct, I think you'll really enjoy the experience, and I highly recommend you try it at least once, and you might end up with the magic board, right? So definitely give it a go. So now here's a part of the video that's going to compare the Seaside and the Promer Quadfish. Like the curvature of the nose, they're pretty close. The foil's a little different, but I'd say that they're very similar, and the width is similar, so the grovel features will be the pretty close to the same for paddling and catching waves. And here is a comparison of the mashup tail to the Quadfish. If you look at the outline and the width of the tail, they're very similar. The only difference being the cutout of the swallow. The Quadfish kind of stays more in line with a semi-retro, not too deep, more like the Seaside. Overall, I'm super happy I went through this experience. Shout out to all the guys who said, please review a local shaper. Shout out to Promer, who was kind enough to walk me through this entire process and delivered probably the most amazing looking board. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. Let me know what I should focus on. And I apologize. I don't consider myself a social media influencer or anything. I don't really care to be. What I want to do is just bring you just information, not just a review of a surfboard, but review plus my added evaluation of it and how it worked for me. All right, till the next one, guys.